Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm eating a piece of delicious cheese, and I didn't want to cheese chew directly into the mic. I bought this. So, for those who don't know, my well, not partner, but I think anthropologists would call us friends, right? Same as the last stream. All right, let me change the YouTube. I don't know. I just had to restart my computer. I've been dealing with some technical difficulties, so give me un momento. Yeah, fuck. Okay. But anyway, I made dinner for her the other night, and it was a delicious. I had a delicious 3 cheese that I put on. Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck? Hey, come on. What are we doing? Can I not? Can I not? Can I not? I want to edit. There we go. Okay. All right. Now we're good. Hey, yo. Sorry, my dog is unhappy with me right now. I love that for me. Hi, Jackie. Have a great stream. Hey, Joey J. And Johnny Viral, thank you very much. I just changed it on YouTube, so hopefully. Queer Cranium. I just had Oreos for the first time in a couple years recently, because for those who don't know, a couple nights ago, my friend who is staying with me got hurt pretty bad, and we had to go to the emergency room. Hey, stay away. And so I've been taking care of her. And one of the things I did basically as soon as the very next morning was I went and I got her a bunch of like soup and juice and just good like stay in bed food. And among that was some golden gluten-free Oreos. Makeup and hair killer. Thank you. I just did it's been a weird week. Because yeah, I had first off, Jamie STL, thank you very much for subbing with Prime. It has been a very odd week where like I've gotten a decent amount of work done. It's been a really good week. All right, so this is what makes it weird is that it's been a really good week except for the emergency room visit, except for all the panic and taking care of that, which is like not, it hasn't been hard. It just, trauma and panic and the yelling and the screaming, like that's never fun. Do I do my makeup after the gym? Yeah. Well, if I do a workout day, I don't go to a gym. I lift at home. I do free weights, calisthenic exercises, and I have a really good 3-mile run circuit near me. So that's, the world is my gym. And yeah, she's doing a lot better now. But it's been a good week because it's been a good reminder of how far I've come as a content creator, because I've been editing one video that I did as a collaboration with one person. And then today, the reason I had my makeup all pre-done before the stream was I worked on another video over a Zoom call with another person. And then, even the last couple days, another content making friend of mine had me look at their essay before like they wanted to put the finishing touches on it. And it's just been, I don't know. I don't do a lot of collaborative stuff, but it's been nice to just like kind of connect, touch base with all these people, and just, feel that community a little bit. Um, I will be right back though, because I actually do want to get a little shawl to put over because it's a little cold in here. Hello, hello, hello. All right, I'm back. Juno, dear, hello but to goobers only. I don't know why you're saying hello to yourself. Fucking get got, Juno. Get fucking owned. Get fucking appreciated. Hey, Fonrek. Testing. Good evening. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of lunges. I do... Because a lot of my... Which, if I seem a little tired today, it's because, A, didn't have a nap. B, woke up early. C, have basically been going nonstop since like 7. And D, I did a... like 3-hour conference call for this thing. Crazy I got Hasan on the stream. I did get Hasan on the stream. I specifically, here's the thing, I specifically did not get Hasan on my stream. I was on Hasan's stream. What did Super Diaper Baby do? Oh boy. Oh boy. So Matt, look, I did, so over 2 years ago, I did my first deep dive video, of which I've done 3, where I intensively researched a subject of, some prominence on the internet. And I don't think they're not... The point of the deep dives is not to psychoanalyze. It is not to indict. It is not to cancel or anything, but some nebulous combination of all of those. It is to really create a record in perpetuity of who they are as a person, and how those aspects of their career, their personhood, their personality, their private life all mixed together so that anybody can come across it, and even if they are a fan of that person, may be brought into seeing them in a different light, may be brought into realizing that they're a liar, a manipulator in some fashion. My piece on Matt Walsh, I was less than kind. My arms were less covered up. That might have been this one. This shirt actually makes my arms look really good. Like, because I did do some lifting today, but like this muscle in particular has been fucking killing lately. Yeah. Hey, future Sabrina, thank you for 100 biddies. Yeah, it is kind of a behind the bastards approach for sure. And it is because, like, the reason why I took a fine-tooth comb to people like Matt Walsh, to Synthetic Man, is because, like, they are, to most people in these ecosystems, and kind of similar with Brianna Wu, even though she comes from more of the, ostensibly from a left perspective, they are people who you hear about every now and again. And that's been, oddly enough, the overriding sentiment I've heard about the Brianna Wu piece is like, oh yeah, I'd heard about her every now and again, but I didn't know how bad she actually was. And that's kind of the thing. And Matt Walsh, I I've looked back for several years, and I felt confident in trying to balance empathy for just another human being, Matt Walsh though he may be, with still scathing critique. And I'm going to be so real. I was not harsh enough on him. Matt Walsh, I can't say what I think should happen to Matt Walsh. I'm so serious. I can't say what I think should happen to Matt Walsh. Awesome Stella, I was on Hasan's stream in the when I was in LA. I was on Hasan's stream. So if you are unlike me, if you're fortunate enough to not be on Twitter, you don't have to deal with people like Matt Walsh or just Matt Walsh himself. I'm going to lower this for a second. Just a skosh, just a smudge. Because I do want to be relaxing a little bit more. Yeah, no, Psychoi, Matt Walsh thinks adultery should be illegal among other ludicrous beliefs. That's what we'll be talking about today. Because Matt Walsh, and I think Matt knows who I am now. Certainly at least has perused my profile. Because this is the 4th, 5th, 6th time he's quote tweeted me to his audience. And this one, I know I got to him. I know I got to him. Because cancel culture doesn't actually exist. Despite what he might want to think in the narratives that justify him justifying racism and stuff, like we covered a couple months ago when racist white trash bad person Matt Walsh basically defended her, calling a child racial slurs. But the reality of the world we live in is that cancel culture does not and has never really worked or been effective in any way. Matt Walsh, of all people, is living proof of that. He loves to... So, okay. The thing, and I talked about this in the video I did on him, the idea of a theocratic fascist, which he has in his bio, and people like to bring that up. And as y'all can see, a lady's tail walking by behind me. But Matt truly does believe. The thing is, years ago, somebody called him a theocratic fascist in a write-up of his work. And because he probably doesn't understand or really comprehend what those words mean, he took it as a, oh yeah, I'm a theocratic fascist, and started putting it in his Twitter bio unironically, or ironically. But he uses that veneer of irony to mask the fact that, like, I legitimately don't think he understands what it means. But that he is a theocratic authoritarian. He wishes to moralize to everybody else about how they should live their lives. And in an ideal Matt Walsh-run society, nobody would have any kind of personal liberty or personal freedom or personal expression. Everything would acquiesce to him and his level of comfort. See, he doesn't actually believe in the principles of being American. He doesn't actually believe in American exceptionalism. Because if he did, he would believe in self-determination, independence. The idea that America is a fabric made up of many different people, cultures, religions, and always literally has been. But he doesn't believe that. What he believes... So, this was, I believe, yesterday. Astronomer CEO caught on camera with his HR chief during a Coldplay concert. So basically, this couple I guess one of them was cheating, were found out on the big screen at a concert, and Matt Walsh decided to just completely unprompted to the world, decided to let everybody know one of my least popular, parenthetical, but still correct opinions is that adultery should be a criminal offense punishable by serious prison time for both parties involved. So, adultery is a form of extramarital sexual intercourse by legal definition between a married person and a person who is not a party to the marriage. So cheating, basically. Or swinging, or polyamory, or threesome, or like any other number of permutations of things that people do in the privacy of their own home, that people do of their own free will and volition, that is none of this jackass's fucking business, is the bottom line there. Now, he did follow this up because Matt Walsh does not know how to shut the fuck up and takes any kind of pushback on his often ludicrous and very stupid opinions as affirmation that he is in the right somehow. That the more people yell at him about how fucking stupid he is, the more he just takes it as fact that he is actually brave and courageous for having a very stupid fucking opinion. And his justification for this is adultery is a morally abominable act that causes direct and immeasurable harm to your spouse and children. It is rooted in depraved indifference to the people who are supposed to be closest to you. It has all the elements, parenthetical, and then some of a crime we punish by law. No, it doesn't. In what fucking world? So first off, he is assuming that everybody like him is A, married to a woman, B, not in an open relationship of any kind, and C, has children that this would affect. He is assuming that because he is an insipidly narrow-minded dullard who sees only the world through his incredibly narrow view hole, he does not take into account that there are other people out there living other kinds of lives. Indeed, he really only sees himself as the only valid kind of American life to live. One thing so we'll get to, you can see here he quote tweeted me to his audience, and I want to show off what he said, what he responded with, and probably most scathingly, Matt Walsh's audience. Oh boy, granted, Matt Walsh has millions of followers, so not everyone I'm going to bet is a hardcore Matt Walsh fan. But he sure does know when he's quote tweeting somebody, especially a trans person, and painting a target on them, what he is trying to do is get them to shut up. He is in effect saying, shut up, tranny. You don't get to have an opinion because I'm Matt Walsh and you're barely human. Read between the lines a little bit. That's basically what he's trying to say. Also, low-key very funny. This is somebody who supports Trump. Somebody who has multiple times in the past cheated on his spouse. Verifiably, by the way. Like that's not like a conspiracy theory. We know that's for a fact. Fighting a Hobbit, thank you for 20 bits. Matt Walsh is very much the archetypical American conservative in that regard. Just Middle European genetic backfill sliding down the hairy ass of Manifest Destiny. That is Fighting Hobbit. Look. If it wasn't for who we were talking about and how we were talking about him, the prose you just sent to me be beautiful. Beautiful, darling. Solar Lander, thank you for tier 1 for 21 months in a row on this episode. Today, on this episode of the Matt Walsh Show, we're going to talk about why I think people shouldn't be able to fuck whoever they want. Now, somebody responding, 37K followers, I don't really care. When will people finally acknowledge the epidemic of men marrying women and being turned gay? So let's watch this first before we make up our mind.
Oh, wait, the white.
But I like
Hold
yours.
up.
Yours kind of has color.
I know,
and
mine has the
style.
wood. But what do you think matches our house better?
I don't know. I kind of like mine. I'm not gonna lie. I feel
Should we do
like
yours?
I think we should do
Yeah,
mine
we
for
should,
this
we
one.
should.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I like mine better.
I feel like I
Yours
like
kinda looks
mine better
Your
though.
kind of looks like a bath
Yeah, but
carpet.
think of the colors on the couch.
Look at the pastel-y. I felt
yeah,
like you would
you're
love
right. Compromise. Let's do both. No, I'm just kidding. We'll do yours. We'll do
this. I
yours.
like that. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Wait, I love the 3D look.
I'm not feeling yours.
The Florida vibe? The ocean?
Yeah, but that's giving Airbnb, not like home.
Yours
Gives
definitely
more
gives
home.
more
It gives some
like
color,
luxury look.
but I don't know. Do we go with mine?
I think we should go
I
with
like
yours.
mine.
Yeah.
3, 2.
Okay, so first off, I can tell these are like white upper middle class. Ollie Andrew, thank you very much for subbing with Prime. Upper middle class yuppies. But yeah, this is sweet. Like buying this kind of very vague, bland corporate art. I think all of it gives Airbnb. I think all of it gives Airbnb. I'm gonna be so real. If you're going to buy any kind of art and going to frame in your house, you should have something that. And this is just my opinion. If anybody else wants to do this, that's fine. Are we on a hype train? Hell yeah, we're on a hype train level 1. We are 95% of the way to level 2. If anybody wants to give over on Twitch, I'd appreciate it. It would be super cool to see how high we got that hype train going. Like, the aesthetic's super not for me. It is very much like Home and Gardens. It's very much Pier 1 imports. Like it, Banana Republic type shit. Not into it. Never have been, never will be. Kringus Ringus, holy shit. Thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Jam Tomb, Mortified Penguin, Astor, CJ Chimera, and Mr. Salykins. Thank you so much for getting us to level 2 already. Holy shit. Yeah, it's white suburban core. It is. It's white suburban core for sure. Fighting Hobbit, have more biddies that just got the new Spider Warframe and having an unreasonable amount of fun being a space drow. I also might be the bad guy now. Ooh, I love that for you. Dirty You Jester, thank you also for following. Like, and again, this is just me. But I think if you have art up in your home, it should reflect you, your sensibilities, your tastes. I love going into somebody's living space and not necessarily feeling like, oh, look at how, like just completely blank and open to interpretation. I want to go into somebody's living space and get a feel for the people who live there. It's a thing that drives me fucking crazy about anytime you see like one of these rich assholes like Andrew Tate or something give a tour of their house or do like Aiden Ross or somebody will talk like show off their fucking mansions or whatever the fuck, and it's just like bland. It's just boring. Like there's no character, there's no actual class to it. They just buy shit that looks expensive or is expensive but sometimes doesn't even look expensive, and it's like what the fuck is the point? If you don't enjoy the shit that you have, like who cares? Like, you're just buying it to impress other people? Who gives a fuck? I don't care. Yeah, I've always thought that was fucking stupid. Skidhouse, thank you for following. Marmalade Express, thank you for Jolly Rotten, and Raider12 also for following. Thank y'all. All of that being said, immaterial to the point. This video is adorable. And the idea that, first off, The idea that a man is somehow made gay for A, having a wife, B, being a dude who very clearly like works out, at least takes care of his physique, at least doesn't miss arm day, wearing backwards hats, like looking like just a bro, just a dude. And because he has input on decorating when they're moving in together, this somehow makes him gay. Which, like, here's the thing. If anything, which these are also the same type of guys who will all say, like, well, a man needs to have a command over his home, and a man is the final authority, and the wife doesn't get to make all the decisions, and the man is the blah, 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 the leader, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, while the man is the leader and the authority, apparently, it's also gay if the man has any input on the things he is constantly surrounded by. So fucking fit that into a square hole. Thank you very much, Grodon, for 100 biddies. I have an extensive collection of Masters of the Universe and Transformers. Hell yeah. Like, if that is what brings you, if that's what sparks joy, more power to you. Don't let anybody fucking tell you different. If you enjoy that shit, go. Vaya con Dios, have fun. Yeah, nothing is more gay as a man than being happy with your wife. Oh my gosh, that's so real though. You have no idea how many people legitimately think that way though. So, all right, let's finish this at least.
One. Why'd you just do that?
I did it. I almost dropped it.
Oh.
Wait, ooh. Here's like crystal.
Why just like both of our vibes?
All right, what do you say?
No, I like this one. This one's more. Okay, but here's the thing. Let's just say. Okay, hang on. Sorry, excuse me. I have to clear my throat for this. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that I would buy a bunch of decorations at this kind of store. I want my house to look like a Miami Vice drug kingpin's penthouse. Okay? I want to buy velvet paintings of zebra stripes. I want to buy, like, red. All right, so one thing I actually do really want in an apartment at some point, or a condo, because I am looking to move over to Seattle, actually. So, by the way, all of my any donos I get for the foreseeable future, a lot of that shit is going towards paying off debt, moving fees. I want to be out of here by the end of the year. I want to be over in Seattle, living life by the end of the year. And so, like, if anybody is wondering, like, oh, well, I wonder what Vesper does with all the money I've given them. It's like, it is to help me do better, do more, be able to live in a better area. Figured I'd be LA bound. I mean, maybe eventually, but that's not where life is taking me at the moment. But that being said, I think one of the pieces of furniture I really, really have my heart set on is I really want like a red velvet chaise lounge. I just think that would be great for a reading nook, if I'm being honest. Although, according to people like this, that might be a little bit too. That might make you a little too light in the loafers. That might be a little bit too. Do an Alex Jones impression. You know, I used to call people who like that kind of stuff light in the loafers. A little sugar in the tank back in the day. Yeah, I think okay, let's finish looking at this, but this is all of that was to say this one gives Miami Vice drug kingpin.
Then we gotta get two more.
That's fine. Let's do it.
Okay, we'll do that. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Wait, we kind of got the same fabric. For the
How
seat.
did we think alike like that?
Okay, but mine has little balls. Look at how cute that is.
Oh,
Slide on the floor.
Oh, this is hard.
Ooh, but yours looks good too.
Do you want rock, paper, scissors?
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
let's
we
do
have
that.
to rock, paper,
Ready?
scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay.
You know what? I don't want to jinx it or anything. These folks, I'm sure I would find hanging out with them to be, you know what? No, actually, these are the kind of people who would probably be really fun to hang out with. I can tell. They are people who I have next to nothing in common with, but I bet they are actually really friendly. They might be Christian. I bet they're probably Christian. But they seem very friendly. They seem able to relax, hang loose a little bit, take a joke. None of things that people like Matt Walsh are doing. The idea that conferring with your wife for a funny little internet video, that picking any kind of implement for your home makes you gay, let alone is some epidemic, is laughable. On its face, laughable. To which Matt Walsh says, dudes like this were already gay. I've been married for 14 years. And let me do it in my Matt Walsh voice. Dudes like this were already gay. I've been married for 14 years and have never been home decor shopping or even had an opinion on the subject, except for the one time when I had a painting custom made depicting me meeting a group of space aliens. It's now hanging above a fireplace in our home, which of course is half a joke, but he did really do that because he's a fucking idiot. I don't know what else you want me to say. I just leave my wife to be the homemaker. She knows how to create and maintain a beautiful home. I'm not against it. That is being against it. If you are saying dudes like this are already gay, and then you're saying, well, I'm not against it. Yeah, you are. Shut up. Now, the more important thing with him calling me out was yesterday. I took umbrage, let's just say a little bit. I was in a spicy mood. I do this sometimes. Where look, we'd like to do a little trolling here from time to time. And so this is what I said to Matt Walsh. I said, I'm going to fuck another 2 people today and tell my partners about it after, and there isn't a fucking thing the theocratic fascists can do but sit and be mad, because fucking who I want when I want is my right as an American. Rock, flag, and eagle, baby. Let's go. Which is true. Now, Matt, ever easy to goad into being incensed. I can just picture him stewing to this, which he almost certainly did, because not only did he quote tweet it, but he came back for seconds later. He just couldn't get enough of me. And he... oh, yeah, I did drop my OnlyFans in the link, which was very funny. And if you're... By the way, if you're wondering, if dropping my OnlyFans was just me being cheeky, or if I did see an uptick in subscribers after Matt Walsh retweeted me, the answer is yes. Now, a lot of people decided, in my comments, a lot of people just, came over and supported me. But when you go into Matt's response with your lifestyle choices, you most likely won't live past 45, so I wouldn't worry about legal repercussions in your case. First off, Matt, I guarantee I'm healthier than you are. As I say there. I say as I have the sniffles. I'm sorry, I've talked about this for weeks. I have the worst allergies this year. Don't know why. It's actually breathing isn't so bad. It's mostly just sneezing now, which is so weird because I don't sneeze that much. Like I've sneezed, honest to God, I've probably sneezed more in the last 2 weeks than I have in like probably my whole life. I'm not even like, that's not an exaggeration. Now, what he's trying to say here is inferring, of course, that because I'm trans, he's trying to do the suicide statistic thing. Wouldn't worry about legal repercussions, or because I'm gonna, kill somebody or whatever. Which, nah, Matt, I'm not going anywhere, buddy. I am. You know what? We'll get to my response because I quote tweeted him again, and then he quote tweeted me, and we got a little back and forth, and it was all in good fun. We'll see what I said next if you haven't said that, but I do want to go down his fan group here for just uno momento, por favor, because it really, you can tell so much about somebody by the fan base they incubate. You can tell so much about somebody by how their followers react when you paint a target on them. To which Jimmy Sturr fan, who I assumed is just a regular conservative, said, "I'm going to ruin my life and there's nothing you can do about it." Which, again, not what I said. A lot of Matt Walsh fans love to misconstrue things that people said. Probably, I can bet I know where they learned it from. These people are slurs. So just say you don't actually believe in independence and personal freedom and stop cosplaying as somebody who does, is what I said. Which is good advice for anybody who thinks this way, is that if you, and apparently he just fessed up to not believing in those things, if you don't believe in actual personal freedom, if you don't actually believe in somebody taking independence and taking responsibility for their actions, then don't fucking go around acting like that's an important thing to you, because obviously it's not. Especially in Matt Walsh's case. He doesn't actually give a fuck about people taking responsibility for their actions. If he did, he wouldn't be such a rabid Trump supporter. If he did, he wouldn't be running interference for Trump on the Epstein shit, which we'll talk about next. Fight and Hobbit, thank you for 20 biddies. Short list of things Matt is afraid of includes anime, D&D, hockey, soccer, vegans, video games, the band Ghost, all comics printed after 1985, and it just keeps unfolding like a moldy lotus. Ugh. Oh, I love this one. I'm glad Twitter's putting my replies at the top. It's pretty good. And you know what? All likes, no breaks. Let's go. All right, whoever V Gundam is, if you're in the chat, love that for you. Love that for me. Trump is, I don't know why people are talking about Trump. The fact they have to brag about it online tells you everything. If it were actually fulfilling, they'd be too busy living it instead of tweeting it. I love this argument because it's like, okay, but you're here too, buddy. Where's your fulfilling life? I bet you would say that you have a fulfilling life, yet you're here too. Do you stop to think? Do you stop to think? Do you stop? No. I don't know why I'm mansplainer. At the end of the day, it's breach of contract. Blah blah blah. Oh, thank you, Sarah, for thinking about me. Imagine bragging about this. People are so lost. Since they're neither man nor woman, according to them, I reported them for bestiality. Seemed like the correct category. I never said the Matt Walsh fans were smart. Mary Moon, who are you? Dreamcatcher Star, great. Sounds like he's going to be fucking they/them. That's the closest thing to a joke I've seen in this. The concept of America as inalienable rights given to us by our creator and the government of the people curtails a few to protect others. It's changed a lot, but still sound. So you do have the right to fuck whoever you want. The idea of inalienable rights, like, okay, well, if you're going by the Bible, then you still have a right to own slaves. But we don't do that, do we, buddy? So I guess we're not actually going by the Bible. And so the other thing is that there's a ton of people in the comments roasting Matt for not paying attention to the Epstein shit enough. For either because he's actually on the tip about, like, why are people, I don't know if he's trying to, like, picture it as because we talked about this last time, if he's trying to pivot to the media is somehow covering up his messaging on the Epstein shit has been so fucking nonsensical. Where in one tweet he'll run interference for Trump, and the other he'll be like, well, why aren't they releasing this? Something is suspicious here. His post has AIDS. His post is AIDS. Oh, sorry. He'll live long just alone. Do people die from sex? One of those men who thinks he's a woman. Typical behavior from a godless degenerate. Ooh. Spooky Pepper, thank you for resubscribing for 4 months in a row. Fighting a Hobbit. Oh, I already read that one, but thank you. Trans schizophrenic screws himself. Film at 11. These people, they have such rich interior lives. Only in today's American perverse society would someone proudly say such a depraved statement. Let's just hope this way of life she's talking about dies out when it doesn't breed itself into continuation. Bummer. Comma, mer. Whore. Sorry, that's funny because I have a friend who does that to me. I have a friend who just goes, whore. That's funny to me. Dudes that talk like that get NYC actual. Sure. Dudes that talk like that get zero pussy unless they pay for it. Stay mad, you limp dick. No chin having bitch. That's funny. Also very funny. So then I responded with this. Like I said, we have a little repartee. You know, what can I say? Matt and I, we like to have fun here. You know, he says some insanely insipid shit. I say, keep frothing with impotent rage, dweeb. I'm outliving you and pissing on your grave. Yeah. To which somebody said, also of note, 41% chance. Apparently this person worked at, somebody told me that she worked on, was it fucking, was it Crowder's show? Or she worked for some show at some point. Also of note, 41% chance you're wrong about outliving him. To which I said, not surprised you don't know about how statistics or basic math work. Which is true. The statistic that gets thrown around is 41% of trans people have thought of or attempted suicide. I haven't attempted suicide. Any suicidality I've had in the past, by the way, that statistic is outdated because it also takes into account before coming out as trans, before socially transitioning, before living a happy life, which is when I had suicidal thoughts in my teenage years, in my 20s, when I was straight, trying to force myself to fit into these dipshit boxes. And it also, like, yeah, it might as well be an entirely fake statistic at this point. for how little it has to do with reality. So anytime somebody pulls that out, you can tell they really just straight up don't have an argument to begin with. Oh yeah, here we go. You'll never be a woman. Very, very funny. Also, pretty sure I can't show that. Takes balls to say that. Yeah. Oh no, showing off this hot picture of me in cosplay. Ooh. He's gonna outlive you easily. The numbers don't lie. I mean, I guess it came from Noel Stradamus. God wins with a fucking Bitcoin thing. Awesome. Not your Jewish mom. These people, the thing that always gets me is checking out these accounts that have like 15.5k followers. Like, what are we doing? And you got the classics. Even your hairline is running away from you. I literally just talked to an FFS surgeon that assured me that, like, no, actually, your hairline is perfectly normal for people. Women, men, whatever. It's just, these ones I actually take offense to because they are so lazy. Hey, dude. I'm non-binary, dipshit. Boo, you whore. Statistically, no. According to your group, if we call you the wrong pronoun or take away your hormones, you will die. Again, that's not really how it works. They know that. But anyway. These are... Why aren't they showing the ones... You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he hid them. I did retweet somebody I found on Matt Walsh's thingamabob. I hope I didn't retweet... I haven't retweeted any porn. Thankfully. Well, bummer. Oh yeah, here's another part of it where people Matt Walsh then retweeted that, me saying I was going to piss on his grave, and that's how I know I really got him. I really got him. The idea of doing something and promising to do something that Matt knows he can't do anything about, that's the way to get him. That's the way you can actually get under his skin. The shit that the stuff that he has no hope of ever doing anything about, outliving him and pissing on his grave. Ooh, he's so mad. Pliskin, thank you for $10. Recently discovered your channel thanks to the batshit Andy Pats game. That was very funny. Thank you. Quite enjoy your stuff. I've seen. Quite enjoy your other stuff I've seen. Also a fan of the short hair looks nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Bees, thank you very much. And Jojo is taken. Thank you also for following. Why am I on X? Because unfortunately, X is very, very good for my channel traffic. I kind of have to. I am not, I've talked about this before, but I am not at the level of like a Contra or Abigail or Harris or any of the other like big leftist channels where like they can throw out a video and the entire internet knows about it. I am not there. I need all the reach I can get, especially at this point where I am trying to, you know, move forward in my life and I need all the capital I can to make that happen. To which I said, dog, I'm not mad at anyone. I don't want to be a woman. I'm shocked for all the time you spend obsessed with trans people. You haven't learned anything about us. Meanwhile, you're so mad at people getting a little ass on the side, you think they should be imprisoned. Stay mad, bitch. To which he didn't respond because guess what? I guarantee he saw it, and I guarantee he doesn't actually have an argument that doesn't make him look like a total cuck bitch. To which one of his fans replied saying, if you think, quote, getting a little ass on the side is acceptable for a married man with multiple children, you are totally out of touch with reality. Oh, wait. Which, like, by the way, who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I do not care. As long as the kids are obviously not involved in any way, aren't cognizant of it, as long as everybody is consenting, everybody is understanding, if a married couple wants to have an open relationship, I don't care. I do not care. I don't care. I don't care. I do not give a fuck. I don't care. Chris Dorner, by the way, the GOAT out here. So here is one person who responded to me from, it's not, Oh, it's not there anymore. Oh, oh, ooh, oof, oofda. This page doesn't exist. Damn, that's crazy. From Valhalla X. Who's in the chat right now? Matt's in the chat right now? No, I think they're joking. Yeah, no, so there were, here's the thing, is I'm willing to bet he's probably hidden the replies by now. But would you be surprised that there were tons of people just like this in Matt Walsh's chat? I'm not. I wasn't. Saruso X Legion, thank you for $4.99. There's totally a cure for transphobia. It's called Growing the Hell Up. All the love and respect in the world for you did. I mean, thank you very much, Saruso. This was one of my favorite ones. Look, I unfortunately, if I have a cunty cosplay photo or just a cunty photo in general that I'm like, ooh, that would be a perfect reply to this, I can't not post it. So when somebody who I'm gonna say is probably ESL, English Second Language, dead/brain, you can ever be a woman/vampire. Do not know where he got either of those. I'm gonna be so real. Only one only God can make you. The other one a vampire. They never existed. No, Rainy Lore. I think Matt. I think that was a joke. Ooh, oh, that one got. Ooh, nice shorts, bro. Also got because he threatened to kill me. Or no, he said that I should be beaten to death in the street, I think. And this is my standard death threat response. Fighting Hobbit, thank you for 20 bits. Showed my boy in the kitchen your Ice Riots videos. He thinks you have breast milk. Told him you were non-binary. Replied, statement stands. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Junky shit. Sad and pathetic. Sorry for being built different. Imagine living such a hollow and vapid life. Here's he did a good one. He did a good one. He did a good one. Someone will call you a woman and you'll have a heart attack. Keep crying, little girl. Chat. They can always tell. They can always tell. Mackenzie L, thank you for $5. My family tried to force me into a Liver King-like reinvention when I said I'm trans to cure me and that I was going against what God made me. That's rough. I am sorry, Mackenzie L. Liver King! Oh my God! I never talked about Liver King like weeks ago. Fuck, we gotta talk about Liver King. Oh man, okay, you know what? I'm going to write that down because I had a whole plan. I just got busy. I want to make a stream highlight video. I've wanted to do a video on Liver King for so long, but I've never had the proper excuse. Disty excuse. Sorry, I'm using my sticky note to put it on my workspace. It's the Liver King here. See, the problem with me doing any kind of Liver King impression is that inevitably I'll just slip into a Macho Man Bonesaw impression. Keep crying, little girl. Don't know which, haha. Haha, not funny. I actually find it sad. That poor thing fucked itself up so bad. You know what? I appreciate the cover. I appreciate that cover. I appreciate the cover of him being like, you know what? Actually, somebody makes fun of him like, you don't even know what they are. He's like, well, actually, I think it's I think it's kind of sad and fucked up. Actually, my mom said it's kind of sad and it's kind of fucked up that they fucked themselves up so bad. It's like whatever. It's not even like a big deal or anything. Called that, but then complain when somebody like me has its options. Well, come on, don't make this about yourself, Devil's Tooth. We can't always. Oh, I didn't go down this one so much. This is good. Idiot, lol. We can always tell my ass. This guy, this is the most fucking honest one I've seen. No, we can't always tell, and that's part of the problem. Every sentence, keep getting offended. You literally Hello? Ayo? Yeah. Very funny. Somebody saying, I doubt that. Nobody wants you. Where am I at? Where my chat? Where my chat? Where my chat? There's a lot of people who want me on here. Look, I post my OnlyFans stuff on Twitter. There's a lot of people. Another post, unavailable. So yeah, let's put a pin in it for Matt Walsh for now. Matt remains an incredibly sad, incredibly easy to rile person. And as somebody whose platform is only growing, whose star is only rising compared to him and the Daily Wire, I will continue to take every opportunity I can to goad him, to piss him off, to keep him frothing with that same impotent rage. Because if I can make his day a little bit worse knowing I'm out in the world and people like me are out in the world, just living our lives happily, unafraid of his dipshittery, then, oh, that only makes me happier every time I think it. Only makes me happier every time I think about it. Why do you keep saying, Ryson, why do you keep saying Marmot Matt Walsh? Dustin the Damned, good evening. Man, if Mr. Poe or Mopo, your docs are 100% better than Daily Wires, but they waste 100,000 more money on theirs. I would love if I had the resources of a Daily Wire doc, fuck. Ugh, I can make so many good movies. I guess he looks kind of like No, I honestly, I don't see it. Like, okay, on some of them, here's the thing. On some of them, God, I fucking hate AI slop so much. On some of them, you know what? Okay, this one up here, if you put big rim glasses on it, I kind of see it. I kind of see it a little bit. A little bit. Bottom right one, this one, or this one. Also, has anybody been playing the new Tony Hawk? Because I have thoughts about that thing. Are you fucking kidding? All right, what's the 12-foot? No, the 3 and 4 remake. Do y'all have, all right, what's the other website for that to get around shit? Have I ever played? I played Grounded for like 5 minutes back when Xbox had the like bounties, and I was like, eh. Yeah, 4 is weird. Fight now, but thank you for 20 bits. I'm just sitting an Outlast whistleblower adaptation. If you ever get that sweet conservative slop factory money, horror movies are cheap to make, and you'll probably have more fun than whatever the hell Megan 2.0 is. Yeah, Megan. I haven't seen that yet, but like, yeah. Okay, so the thing with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, because I never play Archive. All right. I never played the original, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 of the campaign I've played for it, great. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 is so obviously, god damn it, it's not on there yet. Ugh. All right, give me a second. To get past this paywall the old-fashioned way. No. There we go. Okay. All right. So, really quick, before we getting more Fallout games before 5. No, I didn't hear that, but that's nice. So, the thing with Pro Skater, because 2 and 3 remake were actually, they came out around the time that I actually got into skateboarding a couple years ago. It's just, God, it's like 5, holy shit. Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 years old now. 5, I think. Yeah, this fall it would be 5. Because I'm pretty sure it came out, for whatever reason, it's cemented in my memory as coming out like the same weekend as Square Enix's Bad Avengers game. But no, like, all right, so 3, great. 4, I've never played on PS2. I am assuming, from everything I've heard, like, it was open world. You can kind of tell from the fact that half the maps take place in San Francisco or in California, where it's like, here's the pier, and then one of the levels is Alcatraz. It's just like the Alcatraz and pier levels in particular, it seems like they did the best with what they had to fit it into the framework of previous games, but it's so clearly not, it doesn't have the same feel and flow as the other levels. And I'm like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's I don't know. The Tony Hawk Pro Skate, the 3 and 4 stuff kind of bums me out. I'm not gonna lie. And I also kind of wish. So I wonder if I kind of doubt it, because what I imagine happened. If I had to guess, what I imagine happened because the original version was shut down before the Activision acquisition by Microsoft. And what I imagine probably happened behind the scenes, and well, Jason Schreier might have something about this in the next couple months, that it was quickly revitalized and rejiggered by a separate team and just finished up and sent out the door to have more stuff for Game Pass, to have more of a ROI for Microsoft as a bottom line. So, like, I don't doubt that. And I do not think that this is part of like a production pipeline where Microsoft is looking at it being like, ooh, if this does really well, maybe we'll do Thug 1 and 2. Maybe we'll do American Wasteland. I honestly don't. I probably don't think that's going to happen. Really hate that the Avengers game never turned into something bigger and better. It was just the same shit. It was just the same shit. It was like, as somebody who was kind of a defender of that game for a minute, okay, the Avengers game had so many problems. First and foremost being that it was the absolute pinnacle of the bizarre genre of live service games with a solid single player component that also had no real live service content to grind once you were done with the single player component. Hello, Suicide Squad. But hey, you know what? I at least finished Avengers. I did not finish Suicide Squad. Man, what a thing that game was. What a weird bummer. Because I really like the way they told Kamala's story. I really like the arcs. Like, the way they had Nolan North, the way they had Troy Baker. Like, they had great actors doing great jobs, bringing kind of new, like, not necessarily fresh, but like separate from the MCU depictions to these characters. I loved all the interplay between Banner and Kamala. Man. Yeah. It had no depth to. All right, so the problem is that all of the depth was locked away behind, because I actually think the Avengers combat system was fucking great if you could unlock enough of it, which you weren't able to do because it switched perspectives throughout the campaign, but it was only like a taste. Like, you got like 1 or 2 missions with Thor, 1 or 2 with Hulk, 1 or 2 with Iron Man and Cap, and some of those missions, by the way, fucking great. Like, honestly, some of the Cap missions and like if you haven't played it, I do recommend, if you haven't played it and you can find a copy, because I think it was delisted, I do recommend playing through at least the single player part of that Avengers game, because it was really a solid campaign. But yeah, it didn't have enough depth in that campaign, and then all of the depth was hidden behind, here are these exact same missions where you are going to be fighting the exact same enemies. And it wasn't like in a Destiny, where Destiny can stay fresh, kind of, because it offers a lot of there is a different style of gameplay for a shooter, especially a first-person shooter. Where it's like, okay, I got this weapon. Now this is completely, I'm going to change the way I play and build a different play style. So when I go through and when I replay these missions, it is, while I'm still playing the same content, it is a different experience. Avengers didn't have that. Like, Thor didn't have a different weapon aside from a fucking hammer. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. It was not well balanced. It was very clear that it was so many of the things that have been forced into it were like corporate mandates. Additionally, fucking a huge bummer, because they had a whole Wakanda campaign that was, again, actually pretty good. But then Square Enix made one of the best underrated comic book games with Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that game fucking whips. If y'all haven't played the Guardians game from Eidos, yo, that's that good shit. That's that good for sure, for real. Anyway, I've been playing. What else have I been playing lately? I've been watching a Pookie play a lot of Baldur's Gate. And I've been vicariously playing Baldur's Gate through her experience. Midnight Suns. Oh yeah, Midnight Suns goes hard. Y'all, oof. I'm not even a big strategy player, but that is a fucking game and a half. Midnight Suns? Oh. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy goes. All right, first off, I might be a little biased, okay, because Guardians of the Galaxy opens with a actual licensed Tron poster in Peter Quill's room and does have licensed Iron Maiden songs as part of its soundtrack. I might be slightly biased, okay? Fucking sue me. Mike Tigo, have you tried any of the classic CRPGs from the late 90s and aughts? I've played a bit of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I've played a bit of Diablo 2. I played a couple hours of Diablo 2. I played a bit of Fallout. I want to get more into some of the more modern incarnations of those. So like I played like 10 hours of the Shadowrun remake from a couple years back. Shadowrun, I kind of want to try my hand at Wasteland sometime. Pillars of Eternity and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with them. I just don't play on PC where a lot of those games have been preserved on Steam and GOG and stuff. Yeah. J Kung 56. You want to talk about X-Men Origins Wolverine? Haha! J Kung 56, you fool! You have activated my trap card. I have for you, and it is unfinished, unfortunately, so it's not the whole development cycle.
In there, and it was basically Weapon X. So we kind of tried to pull some.
I made, this is years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago now. I interviewed 5 or 6 members of the X-Men Origins Wolverine development team and made a full documentary on the development of the game based on the movie.
You know, a lot of, I guess, inspiration from that Barry Windsor Smith story.
So this is my video on X-Men Origins Wolverine.
And the original script we had was very different from what the final script ended up being. So when we first started the game, it was the script literally, I want to say, changed about 50%. So Marvel Studios would contact us and be like, hey, just so you know, there's all these script changes going on. And again, from what I remember, we kind of said, all right, let's just focus on like our own story and creating our own story.
Let me show one of my favorite parts here.
And kind of work off of that.
For one of our earlier Marvel games. But not only was Hugh Jackman in the recording studio to do these lines in person, so you get much better direction, right? But when they told him things like, okay, so here's the deal. This is immediately after a huge fight scene. And so Wolverine is still going to be out of breath and, acting threatening or whatever. Hugh Jackman would drop to the ground and bust out a ton of push-ups at maximum speed and then say, all right, start recording, so that he could literally physically be out of breath to record the lines. Like, that is a dedication to craft that they are not required to deliver as top tier voice talent. But Hugh Jackman was all in, man. Like, he would knock this stuff out of the park. So I remember Bob telling stories like that, and I was just really impressed.
We happen to have a guy at Raven, his name is Andre Doucette. He does really great VO work. He's always done tent VO work for us. He has he's just a really great voice. He's really into it. So he did all the Wolverine tent VO, and it was like that for probably a year.
Yeah, so if y'all want to go check out some of the other videos I've done in the past, I have a bunch of documentaries on video games I made when my channel was all video game oriented, where I interviewed developers and just made
means a quick turnaround and very little room for innovation or experimentation, which appeared to be the game's destiny until a fateful delay pushed the film production back another full year, giving Raven some much-needed breathing room. But that doesn't mean development was without its challenges. Yet
God, I do love the combat in that game. Holy shit. Yeah, so anyway, go check out my documentaries. I did one for I've thought about. I still have one that I did like 3 interviews for that I never finished doing because I started doing political content and started making documentaries and stuff. No, I've thought about doing a part 2 to this. Maybe one day. I have all the interviews. I have all the interviews and a script. I just need to fucking take time to do it. It is, so I did one on this. I did one on Fear 3. I did one on Condemned 2. I did one on Paradise Killer, one of my favorite games ever. And then the last one I did was on Silent Hill Homecoming. And yeah, I had one that I was doing on, again, this was, shit, man, this was 2 years ago. Because I wasn't sure if the, like, everything would pick up with the politics videos, so I kind of went back to the well. And it was on the creation of the first Force Unleashed game. And the, like, path that, the bizarre path that studio, LucasArts, was on, that it involved... It involved talking about the Indiana Jones PS2 game that had multiple versions canceled and went through just this bizarre development hell, Staff of Kings, and it involved, like, it was going to talk about Force Unleashed 2 and how that was all, like, incredibly rushed right before the Lucasfilm Disney acquisition. Like, that video... I still, one day I want to get to it, because I actually had Hayden Blackman on the line. I had contacted Hayden Blackman, who is the writer-director. Lady, what are you doing? Who is the writer and one of the writers and directors on The Force Unleashed. And yeah, what a cool video that would have become. Fighting a Hobbit, thank you for 20 bits. Homecoming is confusing to me. I want to like it, but as a Hillhead and lore fiend, it just makes no sense. Did you watch my video on it? Did you watch my video on it? You better watch my video on it if you haven't. PsychoSalad665, thank you for super chatting $4.99. And when playing Death Stranding 2, the most beautifully unhinged experience of my life, all that was missing was another Coen O'Brien cameo. I just finished Death Stranding 1, and I'm still kind of gestating if I want to do Death Stranding 2 before or after I do a video on Hideo Kojima's mommy issues. I think I want to do Death Stranding 2 after, because I have a clear, concise vision for that video, and I want to be able to fulfill it and not have to play a 40-hour game before I do that. Do the Suda 51 games? Do a documentary on Suda games? What? I don't speak Japanese. The most I can say is arigatou gozaimashita. That's it. That's what I got. Ooh, Bruce Magnuson. Again, you have activated my trap card talking about Illbleed. Let's go. Let's fucking go, Illbleed. Oh, Illbleed's so fucking... Oh, I love Illbleed so fucking much. I mean, no, I've played Death Stranding 1. I am not jumping straight into Death Stranding 2. Shout out to Fall Down Bear. I fucking love Fall Down Bear. Shout out to Erica and Killer Man. Shout out to Killer Man. Have I seen the new Marvel fighting game? Yeah. Illbleed has amazing speed. Oh, I bet Illbleed does have some good speed runs. I bet. Okay. So let's talk about how our country is currently run very likely by a pedophile. The Wall Street Journal came out with this exclusive joint yesterday Jeffrey Epstein's friend sent him body letters for 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump. The leather-bound book was compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell. The president says the letter, quote, is a fake thing. So there's a couple there's a lot of shit around this story that's weird, and it keeps getting weirder. It is all just fucking weird. It's so weird. And it is some of the weirdest happenstance. Oh, what? Opinion on Tron Ares? Are you finally getting your cameo in it? I wish. God, I wish. I deserve it. I deserve to be that part that Jared Leto's playing. Although I will say Jared Leto is apparently playing a like flavorless, like faceless automaton character, so that works well with his acting ability. Yeah, okay, one last tangent before I go. Tron of franchise films, Tron Ares and Mortal Kombat 2 are probably the ones I'm most excited about this year. I liked Mortal Kombat 1 with the caveat that Cole is a shitty character, and I sincerely hope like the movie opens with Cole getting his shit rearranged by Shao Kahn. Like I hate Cole. God, what was his fucking name? Cole. I don't even fucking remember. Like he was a character who literally, I've never seen a character literally have plot armor. Literally, the plot is dependent on giving this character armor. Magical plot armor. It writes itself. Anyway, favorite Katana? No, Melina. No, Sindel. Mommy. I don't know. Cole Combat. It's, yeah, it, I don't know, but I think I liked a lot of the stuff they did with Sub-Zero. I think all the stuff with Sub-Zero and Scorpion in that first movie, great. And then the stuff that, like, the thing with the Mortal Kombat movie is that if you took Cole out, it's like a really good adaptation. Like, really good. Like, the characters are good. Like, Kano was awesome. Liu Kang and Kung Lao, whatever. I think the other worst part was Jax. Getting, like, the way Jax gets his arms is real fucking dumb. Like, look, I know we're talking Mortal Kombat. Real fucking dumb. But the new one, I think it's actually going to show the tournament. I think Katana in it already looks, oh, my girl, so good. Yeah, I like that they had Natara. That was because that was before before MK1 came out by like a year, and having Natara in there was kind of a deep cut. I just hope that Cole gets killed by Shang Tsung. I just hope. I think the brilliance and the thing I am really hoping for is, I've never been a big Johnny Cage head. I think the way that he's been forced into being like kind of the main character of the last couple games is very odd compared to like Liu Kang, who I also don't think is a very interesting character, but that's more familiar for me. All of that being said, I think Johnny Cage from Carl Urban, since I heard that, I was like, yes. Like, I since youth have been a Carl Urban proselytizer. Like, ever since Vaco and Chronicles of Riddick, I've been like, that's my boy. KU, that's what's up. Like, Dread, Lord of the Rings, if it has Carl Urban in it, I'm fucking down. Doom, let's go. Semper Fi, motherfucker. And so seeing him, like, really cheese it up as Johnny Cage, I'm like, oh. So good. And I really hope that they put him center stage. It seems like in marketing material they're trying to do that. But yeah. Oh, and The Boys. Yeah, I forget that that's what most people know Carl Urban from now. And The Boys, Carl Urban. What was I talking about? Oh, the other one, Tron Ares. So, at first, I was like, what the fuck are they going to do? If they're going to do a Tron movie, it needs to be about, like, the logical next step is, my fear was, okay, they're going to do a Tron movie, and it's going to be, like, just a rehash of Legacy, or it's going to be some other story in the world and another, like, thing. And I'm like, that's not interesting. The way they are taking it, I think, is a very interesting direction. I will say that. I think the latest trailer showed off a lot more of the plot of having, like, weapons manufacturers trying to, like, tap into the grid as this unlimited source of these perfect super soldiers. Very interesting. Actually, super interesting. I don't like Jared Leto. Unfucking sorry if this is surprising. I don't fuck with Jared Leto. I don't fuck with weird cult leaders. And him being, like, the main character and bringing back Jeff Bridges, which what I'm beginning. Yenda, you bite your tongue. Tron Legacy is a great film. Not just a good film. Not just a good film. A great film. Fucking quote me on that. Yeah, I've seen Universal Soldier. Rand Paul's neighbor, thank you for following. Psych us out, thank you for $2. Carl Urban Fans Unite. Yeah, I just like, and also, like, Gillian Anderson isn't gonna be a hot, like, cyborg mommy in the grid, so it's like, what are we? You got Gillian Anderson in a Tron movie. You're misusing her already. You've got Jared Leto playing the main character. He's so fucking boring. You're bringing back Jeff Bridges. But, counterpoint, Nine Inch Nails soundtrack already fucks. Like I was, because that's what everybody thought. Everybody's like, wait, how are you going to outdo the soundtrack of Daft Punk, which is a wall-to-wall banger? But they did the smart move. Again, smart move. Not trying to move it forward, moving laterally. Just stylistically different while still maintaining a similar vibe. I want to like it a lot. I really hope it's great. Yeah, like, I also hope that like Olivia Wilde and Garrett Hedlund in it. That movie is so fucking good. Oh, Terminator Dark. See, I want to go. I was talking to Mia Moore when I was down in LA. I was talking to Mia about movies, just movies. And we got to talking about Terminator Dark Fate, and I've wanted to sit down and rewatch it since then. Yeah. So they kind of are they kind of are continuing the story of Legacy. Like, that this seems like a very, very much, but again, when you go back, Legacy was such a fucking layup of a film. And granted, it was incredibly expensive because of the motion capture technology. It was a very pioneering film at the time. But it was such a layup for a sequel. You had Cillian Murphy as the son of Ed Dillinger, the main antagonist of the first film. Like, now, Cillian Murphy was a setup for a third movie that never happened. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? T2, T1, Salvation are the best Terminator films in that order. Fight you. I will fist fight you. I will fist fight you. Look. There is 3 good Terminator movies. No, there are 3 amazing Terminator movies. It's T1, T2, Dark Fate. That's it. And I fuck with, I'm going to say this as somebody who grew up with Rise of the Machines. I fuck with Rise of the Machines. I fuck with Salvation. I don't know about Genesis. Terminator Genesis, get that shit away from me. I will spit on Terminator Genesis. Terminator Genesis, get fucked. There have been 3 movies I've walked out of mad. Like, genuinely in my heart, like, fucking, like, ooh, when I get my hands on the director, I tell you what. Like, actually fucked mad. Terminator Genesis, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Jurassic Park or Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. No, see, because here's the thing. Batman v Superman, I knew was bad going in. Like, I knew that was bad. And here's the fascinating... So, because of the new Superman movie, which is great, by the way, I've had some odd reflecting on the time that Batman... Because it was, next year, Batman v Superman will be 10 years old. Next year is the 10th anniversary of Batman v Superman. And it was a movie I was so fascinated by at the time. Like I never thought it was good. I want to be so clear about this. I never thought it was good. But I saw it like maybe not in theaters, but over the course of my life, I've probably sat through Batman v Superman like 5 times, including twice for the unrated extended edition. Because it's a befuddling puzzle box of a movie. It really is. It is a bad film. It is a bafflingly bad film. Don't get me wrong. But I have never seen such an example of putting carts before horses as Batman v Superman, because it not only does it insist upon itself, it insists upon a cinematic universe that now will never exist. It insists that it is such a good idea that it is laying these breadcrumbs for injustice? Fucking what? No. No. Viles, okay, Love and Thunder wasn't great, but to put it in the same category as Genesis, walk with me here. As somebody who, if you haven't read the comics that Love and Thunder is based on, which are Dominion is not worse than Fallen Kingdom. I don't care what anybody says. Dominion is watchable. Fallen Kingdom is dog shit slop. Dominion's whatever. It's not a good movie. It's fine. It's whatever. What was I saying? Batman v Superman, Dominion, Love and Thunder. So, yeah, it's the God. So it's 2 different... They fucked up 2 of the best modern comic arcs with a layup. Like, Gore the God Butcher is a amazing antagonist. He is a great foil to Thor. Thor's story with Gore the God Butcher, so fucking good. Like, all black the Necro Sword is such... It's a movie that should have been fucking actually metal. That movie's problems can be summarized beginning and ending with the fact that it has Dio's Rainbow in the Dark on the soundtrack as the last song in the credits. So, like, Gore the God Butcher, the God Bomb, all that stuff was great. The Lady Thor arc, the Mighty Thor comic book arc, that first one that they apparently intended to adapt with Natalie Portman's character, was so rushed and ham-fisted for what is, and I cannot express enough, what is one of the best comic arcs I've ever fucking read. What is one of the most beautifully illustrated and realized modern comic arcs. That, like, was so good it created an instantly iconic interpretation of the character. Like, if you have not read The Mighty Thor, the original run, I cannot express enough to you that you need to go, like, get a free Marvel Unlimited subscription. Go fucking get it. Yeah, it's... hate that. Yeah, they should have just done one of them and done it well. Oh, yeah. Fighting Hobbit, sorry about that. 20 biddies, resending this because you missed it, and I like your money. You just summed up my feelings about Knights of the Zodiac being a long-term Saint Seiya fan. Watching Hollywood turn my story about pretty boys into Constellation armor, killing each other into a shittier blood sport. That sounds rough. Yeah, because like if you're just watching Blood and Thunder, it was... What was the other shitty one? Ant-Man. Ant-Man pissed me off, too. Ant-Man, I was like, man... This has got to be fucking rough. This is like Ant-Man was a real moment for me where I was like, oh no, yeah, we're really fucking like going downhill. What about War Thor? The Mighty Thor arc is one of my favorite arcs too. Yeah. Oh, man. The stuff with the War Thor. I loved the War Thor. God damn. Like a piece. Oh. Watched all the children get murdered. That shit was dark. God, that was so fucking good. Resending this because you missed it and I'm giving you money. You just summed up my... Oh, yeah. You already read that. Somebody said Superior Spider-Man could fuck so hard with Alfred. No, because Alfred Molina's Doc Ock is not egotistical enough. Like he is driven by ego, certainly, in the Raimi movie. But like the Doc Ock of Superior Spider-Man is so cravenly egotistical. Like he is such a shit in those like that first run. He's such a shithead. He's just constantly like you, because you get his entire internal monologue throughout those entire books, and he's just constantly like, fucking Peter Parker, this dumbass dipshit couldn't do anything right, I fucking got this, and then he'll just go and like break Scorpion's face or some shit, which is it's another great book. Yeah, dog. Yeah. And then I also really fuck with Multiverse of Madness. The fact that Dominion teases you with such an interesting premise at the beginning with dinos starting to gain Dominion, and then it completely drops all of that. Yeah, for some BS GMO insect plot in the middle of the biggest slot movie, and then all the cast together on a green screen escaping a slow as fuck T-Rex. Yeah. You're right. You know what? You're right. Okay, but here's... yeah, it's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. See, no, Multiverse of Madness was peak for me. I like Multiverse of Madness a lot. I think that's just a fucking fun movie to watch. Like, I'm not going to say it's great cinema or anything, but of the modern Marvel era, maybe probably Guardians 3 is probably the only one that I'm like, yeah, no, if you just like movies, these are fun. These are a good time to go sit down and enjoy and not have to be invested and fucking, go out and buy Funko Pops and all that shit. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the fucking topic at hand, please. Give me a second. I need to put in nasal spray now. Yeah, you know, I actually really like, having not read the book at the time, I did like the Hobbit movies. I have not revisited them since they came out, so do not know if they're still good. Oh yeah, I liked Thunderbolts too. Thunderbolts was really good. Like Thunderbolts, pretty solid, pretty solid. Not gonna lie. A movie that it really seemed like Kevin Feige locked in, or maybe it was just the director and the production team were like, you know what, let's actually try and make a fucking movie again, people. Remember when we used to make movies? And Thunderbolts was like, yeah, okay, hey, what if we made movies again? Damn. How do I feel about the Krakoa era of X-Men? I have not read a lot of like the 90s and 80s like Jim Lee era of X-Men, so I'm not super sure about it. Anyway, you are being, Ryan, why are you drinking that haterade, sipping on them hater tots all the time? Damn. It was Jeffrey Epstein's. I wonder if they would do Dokken in the MC. No, they wouldn't do. They might do Dokken in the MCU. They've already got X20. You know what? No, because once you go down a road of Wolverine is a lot like Spider-Man, where there are so many different characters who are just kind of the same thing that it's like we can't open this. Like we can't open this thing. Dokken is Wolverine's son. Who Dokken always seemed like super fucked up to me because his claws. So, all right, you know how X-23's claws, she has 2 claws instead of 3? She has them from here. Dokken's claws are A, bone, and B, they come from here, and then the underside of his wrist has a bone that juts out. And so, let's do Dokken Punisher fight. My favorite, one of my favorite arcs of the Punisher was Frankencastle, when this is going to sound like fucking nonsense to anybody who doesn't know comics, but when Wolverine's son killed the Punisher because he had taken over the Norman Osborn took over the Avengers and had just a bunch of criminals and supervillains as the new Avengers and basically made them his personal hit squad. And the Punisher was like, okay, well, some people gotta die. And then he sent Dokken after the Punisher. And he literally, this is one of the most violent comics I've ever read, where he literally like dices Frank Castle into little tiny little giblets. Like he fucks him up. Like it's so, like the Ramita panels are so fucked up. Like he look at him. He literally dices him up. What? And then Frank Castle gets resurrected by the Morlocks as Frankencastle. Yeah, I could show this. Yeah, he gets stitched back together into, yeah, I have to show off Frankencastle. Which, by the way, Frankencastle, not a good, it's not a great run. I think it had a lot of potential, but man, I did not care for the Frankencastle run. But that being said, still very funny. Still very funny. You know, sophomore year high school me, I jumped on this Deadpool team up issue like nobody's fucking business. Ridiculous fucking comic book. God, comics are so dumb. But you know what? I wish the movies were a little bit more dumb. Yeah, it was over real quick. Thoughts on Punisher Max or Garth Ennis? Okay, so there are things I do really fuck with about the Garth Ennis era. So the Max books are not rated. They're quite literally unrated, which means you can't really find them on Marvel Unlimited. So they're very hard to find unless you buy physical copies, which I'm not going to do. Although I do remember in high school, still loved Punisher. I still do love Punisher. I had the Widowmaker arc. I had the trade paperback of the Widowmaker arc, which is such a great arc of that comic. So it really, to me, it represents all the best stuff that Max could be, but mostly wasn't. Where it was dark in tone, in concept, in character, and then also like pretty rich thematically. It was like a deeply traumatic fucking story, where like it was about this ex-mafia wife who became like a female equivalent of they teamed up, but she had like terminal cancer and was going on these suicide missions, and it's a whole thing. But the Widowmaker arc ends with these panels that I have never I've never forgotten, where just to feel a semblance of anything after finally getting her revenge, she chains Frank to a bed, and first off, it's not sexual assault because she's not chaining him to the bed. He can get off at any time, or he can get out of it at any time. But chains him to the bed to stop her from doing something as she fucks him. And when she comes and realizes that she cannot feel anything anymore, that she is like dead inside, she kills herself on top of Frank Castle. And then he's just sitting there knowing basically full well what is going to happen, because he is the same way. And it is this like horrifying moment of realization where you realize that, oh, he is also dead inside like that. And just decides not to do that. Just decides to not pull that trigger. It's fucked. It's fucked, and it is really, really goddamn dark. But I really appreciated that. Okay, that's one of the few things I did appreciate with how dark it got. There are a lot of things where it is like edgy to a detrimental fault, and I think Ennis is the pre-Max era. Ennis had a lot of stuff, in particular with the Russian. I talked about this in my video essay on queer characters. Oh my gosh. I remember reading an editorial about how Garth Ennis has a drawer full of rejected Punisher scripts where Punisher has a crisis of faith after accidentally killing a kid or something. Garth basically summed up Punisher's ethos as no such thing as an unacceptable loss. For all its flaws, Garth at least knows the character. Yeah, that's fair. You're locked in a hangar. Ryan, why you do that? The stuff with the Russian is really bad, and then also that's the comic script that goes around every now and again where Spider-Man is transphobic. And it's like, it's so fucked up, because it's like, yeah, the Russian is fucking horrendous. Like, full stop, full send. I can't. It was really the kind of thing that I only could have seen being appropriate. Not appropriate ever, but like accepted as like edgy in the early 2000s. Would I rather fight zombies or robots? Zombies. Zombies are squishy. And they just get, like, zombies just get squishier. Robots just get more advanced. Zombie robots. Nah, fuck that. I ain't fucking with no transmigrants. That's a deep cut Ashnod Magic the Gathering reference for y'all. Hell yeah. There we go. Sorry, fighting Hobbit. Last time I contributed to the derailment of the stream, the best comic book adaptation, Shin Kamen Rider, hands down, no question. Yeah. If we're talking, okay, well, what do you define as comic book adaptation? Do you define a actual like reproduction of a comic book arc, or a comic book story? Because I think best comic adaptation, I think I'm gonna say Spider-Man 2 with Spider-Man No More. I think that is like down to that iconic image of Peter walking away from the Spider-Man costume in the alleyway. Like it is such a rich film. As a comic book movie, like not just a adaptation of an arc or a story. God damn, I don't know. There's so fucking many now. Yeah, I don't even know. Maybe Into the Spider-Verse, honestly. I know that's 2 Spider-Man movies, but like when they hit, they hit. Sorry. You know what? Probably actually Sin City. Oh, you know what? Actually, Ryan Carroll, that's a great point. That is a great point. Logan for Old Man Logan. Because Old Man Logan is like... Old Man Logan is it's one of those things that's like conceptually cool as an event, but yeah, like they made the right moves in Logan to keep the thematic ties while actually making something way more interesting. I do want to watch Doom Patrol at some point. Original Punisher movie. Okay, do you mean the Dolph Lundgren one or the Thomas Jane one? Because I think the Thomas Jane one is a better adaptation. I think the Ray Stevenson one is a better representation of the Punisher. Even though, of course, I do. Hey, you got Thomas Jane, all right with me, because anybody who shows up for a fan film in a role years after the original film, that's good shit. For those who don't know, Thomas Jane starred in a fan film Punisher Dirty Laundry. That also starred Ron Perlman, I think. Fighting Hobbit, thank you for 20 bits. One more digression. If I choose to adapt one comic into a movie, it would be IDW's Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Just a brilliant fucking horror story. Read it. I have not read it. I will try. If I had to adapt any comic book, it would actually be... Is it Last Gender? Yeah. It would be the Last Gender series. If you haven't read these, they are very good. I would like to adapt these one day as a film. Yeah, you know what? Punisher Warzone also kind of fucks. Punisher Warzone was a movie that got shit on a lot. I went back to that years later with fresh eyes, and it's one of those movies that, like, okay, so there are a lot of movies in the mid-aughts, especially when it comes to superhero movies, that I think people remember fondly through entirely nostalgia goggles. Daredevil is one of them. Ghost Rider is... actually, I don't think a lot of people remember Ghost Rider fondly. Ghost Rider's movie I liked because flaming skull, motorcycle, cool. I was a child. Sue me. And I watched it again years ago with a friend, and it is the most befuddling, flavorless gruel in the world. Punisher Warzone is not that. Punisher Warzone has almost a Saw-like aesthetic to it, that it feels gritty and lived in, but it also has this almost giallo attention to color and lighting and framing that is like, it really does. I think it elevates what is otherwise a fairly rote, mundane like action thriller. But like, man, hell yeah. Sacha Baron Cohen. So I haven't watched Ironheart yet, which I want to because I actually know somebody who is a production assistant on that show, and when I was at a bar with her down in Texas, she spilled some tea on the production of it that I'm like, I'm so fascinated to actually watch the show now. I haven't taken the time to do it, but I think Sacha Baron Cohen, from what I've seen, that's pretty good Mephisto. That's pretty good Mephisto. I do want to see Blackheart. I want to see Blackheart, and not the Avi Arad, Akira Goldsmith, whatever his name is, Blackheart. I want to see fucking Marvel versus Capcom, the big just like shadow beast with like the spikes and shit. That fucking Blackheart. That's Blackheart to me. Wait. There's a Ghost Rider director's cut? I might have to fuck with that a little bit. Heart Splinter, Shuma Gorath is basically in Multiverse of Madness. Anyway, okay. Let's get to talking about the pedophile president. Please. Let's get to actually talking about the thing that I put on the title. Y'all, damn. It was Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, and Ghislaine Maxwell was preparing a special gift to mark the occasion. She turned to Epstein's family and friends. Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta check if somebody needs something from me. Yeah, there is they cannot use the word Shuma Gorath, which is the same thing they did in one of the Marvel vs. Capcom games. They also can't call it Shuma Gorath. It was God, that was such a weird licensing thing too. Anyway, I optimistic audience. I kind of love that. I kind of really want to see it. Anyway, Maxwell collected letters from Trump and dozens of Epstein's other associates for a 2003 birthday album, according to documents reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. Pages from the leather-bound album, assembled before Epstein was first arrested in 2006, are among the documents examined by Justice Department officials who investigated Epstein and Maxwell years ago, according to people who have reviewed the pages. It's unclear if any of the pages are part of the Trump admin's recent review. Okay, hang on. Examined by Justice Department officials, first arrested in 2006. Huh. Which would explain why it hasn't come out yet. Letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is body. Like others in the album, contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breast, and the president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. Classy. Let me... Sorry, I'm ordering food now. I have to order food real quick. God damn it. You know what? That was actually really good last time, so I'm gonna eat one of those. Okay. I will be right back, chat. I gotta go hand the phone to somebody so they can order. What? What? Okay, darker chat. Happy birthday. All right, so this is the craziest fucking part to me because it is so this is so on the nose that most writers would look at it and be like, okay, bullshit. But that's what makes it so fascinating. It might actually be real. That like it is one of those things that's so far beyond the pale that nobody would legitimately, like, nobody would sit down to forge something like this and be like, yeah, this will get them, because it's too on the nose. It is just enough on the nose to actually be real, especially for a dipshit like Trump. The letter, this part right here, the letter concludes, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Fucking insane to me. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal on Tuesday, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. Quote, this is not me, this is a fake thing, it's a fake Wall Street Journal story, he said. There was an interesting slip up recently where Trump was talking, like, filleting himself and his family, as he usually does, talking about how his dad taught the Unabomber at MIT, or his uncle, his grandpa, I think his uncle. Anyway, the point was that didn't happen, but people tracked down that there was a mix-up, that he was probably thinking about Jeffrey Epstein, because Jeffrey Epstein had talked publicly about how he went to school with the Unabomber. Whether that was true or not, I don't know. Whether he went to school with the Unabomber or not. He did talk on the record about that. But it was the thing that was like, why would you mix those two up in particular? I think, personally, I think that speaks to a cognitive decline. Jeffrey Epstein was a known liar, by the way. We know that shit. I never wrote a goddamn. Quote, I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women, he said. Quote, it's not my language. It's not my words. Just what a way with prose he has. God. Allegations that Epstein had been sexually abusing girls became public in 2006. He was arrested that year. Epstein died in 2019 in jail after he was arrested a second time and charged with sex trafficking conspiracy. DOJ officials didn't respond to requests for comment or address questions about whether the Trump page and other pages of the birthday album were part of the agency's recent documents review. The FBI declined to comment. Yeah, he so has the best words. Crispy Fried, thank you for tier 1 for 20 whole months. You could have 2 babies in that time. Damn. The existence of the album and the contents haven't previously been reported. The album had poems, photos, and greetings for business people, academics, Epstein's former girlfriends, and childhood pals, according to the documents reviewed by the Journal and people familiar with them. See, okay, so all of this, the big problem here is that there is this is an important story, but there is a level of abstraction between the DOJ and whoever is showing this and the actual like document, and that's what needs to be seen. Like when you say Trump wrote a body letter to the most well-known and prolific sex trafficker and criminal in history, if not the, then certainly one of them, I need to know what that fucking looks like to properly judge this whole situation. Wait. Jason Kelly, I have to say this, but Dump does have a point. I haven't seen one shred of evidence of a romantic bone in his body or drawing pictures. I mean, first off, it's not that big of a picture. It would just be like literally like the outline of a body, some titties, and then his signature for the pubes. Two, he's talked publicly about how, like, oh, you know, you can go, like, the grab him by the pussy shit. Like, he has talked about being attracted to women, if nothing else. Like, so I don't think that requires any kind of romance. I also agree. I don't think he's a romantic. Lady, stop it. Lady, leave her alone. God, you are a crackhead tonight. All right. No, go to checkout. Sorry, I'm checking out real quick. Optimistic audience. Trump sold doodles for a charity auction every year for several years. Let me see. Oh, I just got a little shiver. Awesome Stella. So the Wall Street Journal doesn't have the letter, is the thing. I don't believe. Okay, let me... sorry, I'm still ordering pizza. Calm. Okay, food ordered. Let's go. Let's go, chat. So, from CNN, on the subject of Trump saying, oh. Trump said he never, quote, wrote a picture. This woman solicited 2 drawings from him. Rand Paul's neighbor, thank you for 100 biddies. After the Wall Street Journal reported Thursday night on a 2003 letter to Jeffrey Epstein that included Trump's name and an outline of a naked woman, the president's denial was comprehensive. I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures, he later wrote on Truth Social. However, a charity director told CNN that in 2004, Trump sent her 2 signed drawings for an Ohio charity auction, and news reports suggest other drawings of his have sold for thousands of dollars. Dr. Lowry Lockhart, who ran the auction, said she was shocked and impressed at the artful nature of the then real estate mogul and reality show host doodles. The drawings raise question about Trump's vociferous denial that he draws. Trump has also denied that he wrote the letter. So here's the thing. I don't think, again, I can't, we haven't seen what the actual letter, what the drawing is. Two things. I think the drawing, like these kind of drawings, somebody like Trump could have easily fucking said, yeah, you know, whatever, I'll sign up for this auction, and hired somebody else to do it. This I do not think is conclusive. I think people need to tap the brakes on this. Trump is somebody who just takes credit for other people's shit all the time, who, like, I don't see this being, like, this could be where something that he completely fucking forgot he did. Especially in his adult age. Happens. So, I think this one, not conclusive. Okay, here we go. Among those submitted letters were billionaire Leslie Wexner and attorney Alan Dershowitz. Somebody recently came out and accused Alan Dershowitz of being an open pedophile, or being a pedophile, which I certainly believe sight unseen, because the man voraciously defended Jeffrey Epstein for years. Worked with some of the worst people in the world, and then also defended Trump. So, the Dersh album contained a letter from now deceased Harvard economist, one of Epstein's report cards from Mark Twain Jr. High. Goddamn. Note from a former assistant that included an acrostic with Epstein's name. What a bizarre. Epstein was Wexner's money manager at the time. The longtime leader of Victoria's Secret wrote a short message, quote, Jesus Christ. Whoa. I didn't. Oh, okay. Let me take that from the top. Epstein was Wexner's money manager at the time. The longtime leader of Victoria's Secret wrote a short message that said, I wanted to get you what you want, so here it is. After the text was a line drawing of what appeared to be a woman's breasts. Wexner declined to comment through a spokesperson. Wexner's spokesman previously told the Journal that the retail mogul, quote, severed all ties with Epstein in 2007 and never spoke with him again. Conspicuously, the exact same story as Trump. Yeah, like, you're telling me... Oh, excuse me. You're telling me your fucking money manager, you just cut all ties and never talk to him again? Fucking miss me. Miss me with that shit. Have a good night, awesome Stella. Thank you so much for being here. And good night, Stella. Thank you, Johnny Viral, for being here. Here we go. Dershowitz's letter included a mock-up of a Vanity Unfair magazine with mock headlines such as Who is Jack the Ripper? Was it Jeffrey Epstein? He joked that he had convinced the magazine to change the focus of an article from Epstein to Bill Clinton. Dershowitz, who represented Epstein after his first arrest, said, quote, it's been a long time and I don't recall the content of what I may have written. Likely story. Book was put together by New York City bookbinder Herbert Weitz, according to people who were involved in the process. Weitz, who died in 2020, listed Epstein as a client on his website in 2003. It isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was a typewritten note styled in an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. This is so fucking weird. Like, again, the details of this are so bizarre as, like, I can't imagine somebody making it up, because it would be so on the nose that offhand people would just be like, no, that's bullshit. Like, this is too on the nose. So, quote, voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. It's so weird. Like it's so strange. It's bizarre. It's just bizarre. Like that's it. It's just fucking weird. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Never age. Sus choice of words there. B. Parker. B. Parker is on some Da Vinci Code shit. You find me an Ottendorf cipher. And then here we go. We got the other classic stuff. When he turned 50, Jeffrey was already wealthy from managing Wexner's fortune and was socializing with Trump. How do you... Money is such fucking shit, fake shit, dude. You mean somebody became independently wealthy from managing somebody else's wealth? This shit is so fucking fake. This is it. It's just it. He often entertained at his Manhattan townhouse. Blah blah blah. And Little St. James, spokesman for Clinton, referred to a 2019 statement that former President Clinton had cut off ties more than a decade before. Oh yeah, I didn't know. I knew nothing about Epstein's alleged crimes. Epstein and Trump spent time together in the 90s and early 2000s, were photographed at social events, including with Maxwell and Melania Trump. A 1992 tape from the NBC archive shows Trump partying with Epstein at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Trump is seen pulling a woman towards him and patting her behind. Like, we have video evidence. Like, we know for a fact that at Jeffrey's parties, he would invite underage women, that he would traffic them. We know for a fact he had a list of clients. We know for a fact that Trump is a like philandering shitbag. It is proven that a victim was trafficked out of Mar-a-Lago. I'm not surprised. The idea that Trump just decided to grow a moral compass as soon as he found out Jeffrey Epstein was a sex trafficker, fucking... Like, if you believe that shit, I have a bridge to sell you in fucking Brooklyn. I'm sorry. Viral4, thank you very much for following. Somebody in the chat asking, is this a dude or a chick? What would turn you on most, I guess? Because I don't know if I care. Hey, Miss Genderlyn, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. Boss fight, this is so disheartening. I feel like... Yeah, B. Parker, that's how I took it. Less bluing on, this is what he means by enigma, and more they're totally lampshading. Yes, I fully feel like that's true. I'm doing pretty good, Miss Genderlyn. I've got a delicious pizza that is on the way. Very soon, very soon. Da, 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 da. Also appeared several times on flight logs for Epstein's private jet. 2002 New York Magazine profile of Epstein quoted Trump, quote, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. And many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life." This might be one of the most damning quotes I've ever heard, because it really does. So there's one thing that, like, okay, a lot of times in these kind of spaces where you're talking about things and you're explaining all this stuff, you come across a lot of the same reused lines and pieces of evidence, especially in leftist spaces and bread tubing and video essays and all this stuff. This is one of those quotes that is ever present in any leftist space, in any kind of space that, you know, is talking about these issues, is presenting evidence on them. I think Umberto Eco is another one that you'll see just like pop up all the fucking time. Like if somebody is doing a video essay on fascism, the definitional like rubric for fascism, they're gonna bring up Umberto Eco. You can't fucking deny it. Cody Shoddy does it all the time. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just, it's gonna happen, you know? Because, and I say this as somebody who writes, I am constantly pulling at like, okay, do I need to go over this shit again? The answer is always yes, because you cannot take it at face value that your audience will know what the fuck you're talking about, that they've experienced this, that they've, you know, dug into it themselves. Like, you have to explain shit. Unless you are just preaching to the choir, which is what you see in a lot of like more right-wing videos, where it is like, it has the pretension of being a video essay, but it's not really, because it's not exploring anything. It is just talking about things in a way that they already... I had this experience recently when I was looking at... I was digging into Baudrillard and Guy Debord, and I came across... I think I talked about this last stream, where it was like a video essay on, you know, postmodernism and why postmodernism is Marxist and bad and all stupid and all this stuff. And it was just going... Like, it was saying these things, it was making these assertions without providing any evidence, any explanation, any kind of anything to support that intellectually. And it's just very frustrating to be like, you know, talking about like, and this is how you can see this if you just turn on the news. And it's like, okay, well, we're not like, okay, do you want to give an example? Because you're taking it on face value. Yeah, it's regurgitation of tropes. Grumpy queer. Thank you for that's a good way to sum it up, I guess. But yeah. Blah blah blah. Both men said that they subsequently had a falling out. Trump has said their friendship ended before he pleaded guilty to procuring a minor for prostitution in 2008, served time in a Florida jail, and registered as a sex offender. When Epstein was arrested again in 2019, Trump said he hadn't talked to Epstein for about 15 years. So that would have been 2003. I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him, Trump said. I was not a fan of his, that I can tell you. Which is, you know, again, by that quote, it kind of sounds like they were pretty close. Unless, and again, the thing I think where this kind of breaks down for me personally is that Trump is a liar and a bullshitter. 917. Like, it is just as likely that Trump actually intimately knew Epstein. I think it is looking more and more likely of that. But I would also say it's entirely likely that this quote about him enjoying his social life is entirely fabricated, and that he just partied with Epstein once or twice, and he wants to make himself seem like more of a socialite and more of a well-traveled, well-read man, and who just like interacts with everybody, and he knows all the best people, all the best names. I would say that that's also entirely fucking likely, knowing what a bullshitter Trump is. Yeah, I know, White Knight. I would love to see the actual letter too. I hope it will come out. I really hope. Maxwell, a British socialite, was convicted. All right. Epstein's associations with Trump and many powerful people have been well documented. There remain questions about what the FBI possesses and his well-connected friends. In 2019, the FBI confiscated evidence from Epstein's properties in the Virgin Islands in New York. Earlier this week, after a journal sought comment from the president, Trump told reporters at the White House he believed some Epstein files were, quote, made up by former presidents Barack Obama and Joe Biden and former FBI Director James Comey. It's funny how he's just coming up with this now. Like last week, it was, why are you guys talking about this? This is a nothing story. And now it's like, oh no, this is actually a Democrat deep state conspiracy. See, more than anything, his behaviors are the things that are throwing a wrench, I think, into everybody's suspicion. Like, he's the one who is acting so fucking weird about it. And again, I don't know if that's because he's implicated or because it's just Trump and he's just fucking weird. Oh, Daharumba, thank you for rating. He said that releasing any more Epstein files would be up to Attorney General Pam Bondi. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Great. So somebody who's not qualified, who doesn't have a good... that's crazy. That's... Like, you cannot... The other part of this is that, like, they're going to put on this show about being, transparent and, oh, we're going to release the files. Remember, you cannot assume transparency on anything Trump says. Anything at all. It will all be filtered. It will all just be simply to make him look as good as possible, which is a fucking feat, I'm gonna tell you. Okay. Yeah, Chaya Raichik, real fucking quiet. Real fucking quiet. Allegations that bureaucrats covered up Epstein's connections were fanned by people now in top roles in the Trump administration, including Kash Patel and his deputy Dan Bongino. In June 2024, Trump was asked in a Fox News interview whether he would release the Epstein case files. The Republican presidential candidate initially responded, yeah, I would, but also expressed some reservations. Quote, you don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because it's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world, but I think it would. Man. Like, again, all you need to say is, yes, we would, and we'll be completely transparent. But at every turn, the way they try to bury this and try to make this seem less and less weird, it just raises more suspicion. Soon after she was confirmed as Attorney General, Bondi said she was preparing to release new Epstein files. In late February, Bondi announced the release of Phase 1, but the material contained few new revelations, drawing criticism from right-wing influencers. Drawing criticism from everybody. What are you talking about? Bondi initially blamed the FBI's New York office for withholding information. And promised to release the remaining documents after redacting victim names. Patel also said, quote, there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. They tasked hundreds of FBI employees to review the materials and prepare them for release. The issue took on new life in June when Elon Musk, amid a public feud with Trump, alleged the FBI was withholding documents because Trump was in the files. Quote, the truth will come out. He later deleted the message and said he regretted some of his comments. But did he say they were lies? No. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Ugh. Jim Jordan hold. Oh. Why would you, Jim Jordan, of all the people to oversee the president being implicated in a sex abuse scandal, Jim Jordan? That's where. Fine. You know what? Whatever. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Why not? Who cares? Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee demanded this week that Republican Chairman Jim Jordan hold hearings on the Trump admin's handling of the Epstein files and, if necessary, subpoena Bondi, Patel, and Bongino. At a cabinet meeting on July 8th, Trump criticized a reporter for asking about Epstein. Are people still talking about this guy? This creep? This is unbelievable. What do you want to waste the time? It's always funnier when you actually read the way Trump speaks, because it's like it makes clear what a fucking dullard he is. Yeah. That same day, Musk wrote on X, "How can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files?" I hate how Elon is trying to farm like good boy points with this. I really hate it. The way that he is going to try and, because like here's the thing with Elon, is that he has gone far. He flew too close to the sun, going so hard against the Democrats, going so hard into the paint on the like, oh, the Dems are, you know, woking your kids and transing your kids and DEI and all this stuff. He really can't back up on that, because now any favor that he's courted with people, it's contingent upon him like following through on that shit, on being against, you know, wokeness and all this shit. Everybody's gonna know exactly how, like, people already know how disingenuous he is, but people are gonna be able to really pin it to his ass if he doubles back and is like, okay, no, I'm supporting Democrat politicians. At the same time, he cannot support Trump and Trump's agenda. So he has to go this like bizarre, not even a middle route, because that, I feel, insinuates that he would be more independent. No, he still wants to be ultimately hyper conservative. Hell yeah, Gregory's on the way with food. Read this real quick. FBI agents were told to flag any Epstein records that mention Trump, Senator Dick Durbin says. This was today. FBI agents assigned to review files in the criminal case were instructed to flag any documents. Durbin asked the Justice Department and FBI to explain what his office called apparent discrepancies regarding handling of the Epstein files and findings from a Justice Department memo. Trump has called on supporters to drop their pursuit of the release, saying the controversy of their withholding by Attorney General Pam Bondi is a hoax. And just, oh, that's some great editorializing featuring that picture right there. Some great, one of my favorite parts of journalism is everything you can say without actually saying it. Like everything you can call attention to allow people to you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Draw their own conclusions. FBI agents assigned earlier this year to review investigative files were instructed to flag, blah, blah, blah. No such release would happen. Shocking. Durbin is the ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary, which has oversight over the Department of Justice and the FBI. Quote, who made the decision to reassign hundreds of New York field office personnel to this March review? Durbin asked. Why were personnel told to flag records in which President Trump was mentioned? An FBI spokesperson told CNBC in an email the FBI has no comment. I do, low key, I do love the idea of somebody at the FBI just being like, I don't fucking know, man. Like, what do you want me to do about this shit? After everything they've been to. Okay, food is on the way. Trump is a former friend of Epstein who died from suicide in 2019. And we've pretty much gone through all this stuff again. God damn. Excuse me. Quote, after intense blowback from this incident, Attorney General Bondi then appeared on another Fox News show, Life, Liberty, Levin, which I'm assuming stars Mark Levin. Fuck, man. Pizza Burger, yay, thank you for following. And claimed that a whistleblower told her that Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office was, quote, sitting on thousands of pages of documents. We will get everything. That she was assured there was more, and that the country would eventually see, quote, the full Epstein files, Durbin wrote. Like, again, these are entirely unforced errors that both Trump and the administration, the incompetence that he have just nepotistically continued to appoint. Like, none of this needed to happen this way. Even if it was a cover-up, the sheer magnitude of the incompetence on display is more of a story at this point. Of course, you know, if it all turns out to be true, that'll be the real story. Life, Liberty, somebody asking what kind of dumb fucking name is that for a show? Honest, here's the thing. Life, Liberty, Levin, ahead of the curve for conservative talk shows. When the standard for conservative shows is the person's name show, the Glenn Beck show, the O'Reilly Report, or whatever it was, the O'Reilly Factor, the Tucker Carlson Show, Gutfeld, exclamation mark. Like, you're grading on a curve when you have, like, the Ben Shapiro Show, the Matt Walsh Show. Like, come on. It's that Life, Liberty, Levin. First off, I do want to continue to say Life, Love, Levin, because that's funnier. But Life, Liberty, Levin is the high end, I feel. This effort, quote, the FBI was pressured to put approximately 1,000 personnel on 24-hour shifts to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records. God, they're going to make them insane. Produce more documents that could be released on an arbitrarily short deadline. This effort, which reportedly took place from March 14th through the end of March, was haphazardly supplemented by hundreds of FBI New York field office personnel, many of whom lacked the expertise to identify statutorily protected information regarding child victims. Great. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. No, Gregory has not arrived yet. All right. Gregory is apparently on his way, though. flag any records. Do what? You want some tea? Do you need some tea? Okay, baby needs some tea. I'll be right back. Baby needs tea. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna make sure. I think food might actually be here. Nope. Oh, ooh, oh, whoa. Okay, no. Food is going away from here. Food. It says 3 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So let's finish this up real quick. Memo included. There was. I know Epstein client lists. Quote: there's no credible labor to provide the public with maximum information. So, not only did they say these things existed, but then they rushed haphazardly the processing of all these documents so they can just say that, like, none of this fucking adds up. Like, none of it does. It drives me crazy. And I truly, deeply hope, I think this is the last I kind of want to, the drawing thing is what I really wanted to talk about. Because this is the last, I feel like I've spent the last 3 or 4 streams talking about this shit to some extent. I think I am going to do some Liver King research and get back to you. Because Liver King is a fascinating character. What has happened recently with Liver King and Joe Rogan is so bizarre. But Liver King on his own is a ridiculous story. And I think that should have more than enough for something interesting to talk about on stream. So, all that being said, let us see, because my food is on my way. Let us see who we can go raid tonight. God dang, we are up to 8,300 subscribers on Twitch. Thank you all so much. So we have actual Jake or Peden. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Conrad Pose, thank you very much for following. And Roomba. Yeah, Naughty Roomba, if y'all want to watch. So let me give... Lady, you're fine. Shush. Shush. Yeah, Naughty Roomba. So for people who don't know, Naughty Roomba's tags are VTuber, Catboy, Femboy, Bottom, Brat, Iggy Brat, and they're playing Final Fantasy V. So if that is something you want, Naughty Roomba is there. Actual Jake, always solid, always good. Let's go do I'll do Peden is online. See if I can find. Yeah. Peden, I think they're doing a lot of good stuff right now. Have a good rest of your night, y'all, and thank you so much for everything, and I will see y'all shortly. Keep an eye on the channel. I have a really cool collab video, I believe, coming Monday. The first collab video, first of a 2-parter. The other part will be on the collaborators channel, but have a good rest of your night. And my dog, I'm gonna I'm turn. I'm sorry to say this will be a lady's last appearance. She's getting turned into a hat. Bork. Yeah. Thank you all. Go say hi to Pete and his online, and go mention my name. Go